please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. Well, back home on the Wall Street, the market gave up most of the gains by the end of the trade. The Nifty gave up the 10,800 mark, while the Sensex saw a sharp dip and lost over 200 points by close. The Nifty Bank actually mirrored the benchmark indices, with the HDFC Bank as well as ICICI Bank stocks turning out to be the top losers. Mid-caps also failed to hold on to their gains and closed a tad bit in the red. But how the Q stacked up for the day? Nigel joins us and tells us more. Nigel, tell us how the Q stacked up for the day.
Well, no worries with the US markets. They ended in the green, so that's pretty fine. Otherwise, the big Q that we're tracking today is the North Korean summit. So we're looking out for some commentary that's going to come out from Donald Trump as well as Kim Jong-un. That's post their meeting. Prior to the meeting, everything looked good. They have given positive statements as well. But that's unlikely really to move any asset classes much. The big cues really are going to be in the next couple of days when we'll be hearing from the Federal Reserve as well as from the ECB. Federal Reserve, the market has factored in that they're going to take a bit of a rate hike. And for the ECB, we're looking at them tapering down their bond buying program. But let's come back home. Yesterday, the Nifty flattered just to deceive towards the end. The Nifty failed to hold on to the 10,800 odd mark. In fact, we slipped below that level. Till the last hour of trade, things look good. And suddenly, in fact, we saw the mid-cap index as well that was doing a relative outperformance. That, in fact, ended in the red. The Nifty Bank was up close to around 160, 170 points. That as well did see a sharp intraday recovery. Yes, bond yields are inching towards that 8% odd mark. That's not great news. But that was something that, in fact, I think the bond yield ended at around 7.97% odd. Who were the culprits yesterday? The FIs. They were selling and they sold big time. More than 1,100 crores is what they sold. The DIs, they did their bit. They pumped in more than 1,000 crores yet again. But the highest net sell number coming from FIs in the month of June at least, that seems to have spoiled the party. And we have two sides of the FIs, Anisha. One is the bearish FI in the cash market. And then you have the bullish FI that was present in the derivatives market. I'll tell you why. Because yesterday, we saw the premium move, the Nifty that was trading at a bit of a discount, that moved into the green, telling you, yes, there were some long positions that were added. Who added these? The FIs. They added close to around 5 long positions for every 2 short positions on the index itself. In fact, they bought more calls than puts yesterday, 4 calls for 3 puts, and they wrote puts big time. 10,000 contracts is what they wrote in terms of put contracts. That's telling you that they have, confidence that they're going to be holding on to this 10,600 mark odd. In yesterday's trading session, 10,800, there was some sense that there was writing there. 10,700, there was a sense that there was writing there as well. And some of those call writers, they pack their bags. They say, let's not, let's avoid the raging bull. So yesterday, in fact, if you look at the 10,700 call, there was some unwinding there as well. Short point, maximum open interest on the upside is at around the 11,000 call. On the put side is at around the 10,600 put. So the key levels you're looking at in terms of resistance, yesterday we did a U-turn from around the 10,850. Right. So that's the first level of resistance. 11,000, that's unlikely to get crossed in the near future. It'll be a bit of an effort to get past that. But support is seen at around the 10,600 odd mark. So let's see where we go from here. For the time being, all eyes on Trump and Kim Jong-un.
Well, yes, an important level to watch out on a Nifty, 10,600 on the downside, 10,850 on the upside. But what are the stocks that can perhaps get this move going on the Nifty? Yeah,
we'll keep an eye out on a couple of these financial names. ICICI Bank should be in focus. Yesterday, the stock ended with a cutoff from 0.5%. They're saying that, no, we have not received any sort of communication from US regulator SEC. So keep an eye out on that stock. Well, other stocks that will be in focus, Usha Martin, that's had a big run in the last few days on talks that, in fact, yes, they could be looking to sell their steel assets as well as their wire rods business. They're saying, yes, we're exploring the sale of the steel business to deleverage the company. The finance cost is quite high there, so the debt in the books as well will be rather high. We'll keep an eye out on that one. In fact, yesterday it came off the high point of the day. BST Steel Logistics, they're putting up a new unit. They're talking about adopting a new line of business. Yesterday, only the street seems to have got a sense of that the stock was up 10% before this announcement. So keep an eye out on that stock. Canada Bank, they're going to be considering raising some funds. They have a board meeting that's scheduled on June 13th. So that stock should be in focus. DCM Shriram, now they're talking about doing a buyback and they're going to be meeting on June 18th. So that stock should open up in the green. And Fortis Healthcare, Ekta, Nisha, they were waiting yesterday. They said, yes, we're going to get the results. Finally, the results didn't come about. We didn't get the decision as well as to who's going to be getting Fortis Health. Now that's pushed to later in June. So that stock should be in focus. And the internal investigation that was conducted by Luthra & Luthra, that's been completed. So we'll wait for details on that front as well. That stock, it should be under pressure today. Stride Sashon, they have received a US FDA approval from oseltamivir, phosphate capsules. Now, Ekta will tell us what that is, but they've got an approval, US FDA approval. That's always good news. The stock has been under some pressure, though, in yesterday's trading session. And Kridan Infra, their associate company, won an order of around 180 crores out.
Okay, Nigel, so a lot of stocks to watch out for. Let's see when the saga related to Fortis Health actually comes to an end. It has been a long ongoing, but it is time now for a quick break. Up next, Interim Finance Minister says government will review Air India's sale modalities. Excerpts of that exclusive conversation on the other side of this very short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Power Breakfast on CNBC TV18. Well, days after the government failed to receive any expression of interest for Air India, Interim Finance Minister Piyush Goyal said the centre will review the divestment model to make the national carrier a viable proposition. Now remember, Mr. Goyal also holds a railway portfolio, and he confirmed the CNBC TV18 Newsbreak that operating ratio of the railways for FY18 is among the worst ever at 98.5%. Here is Piyush Goyal on railways, Air India growth, and also on way of resolving the issues surrounding large stressed assets in the power sector.
On Air India, because you're part of the alternate mechanism that the government has set up, no expressions of interest coming in so far. What is the plan now with respect to Air India?
I think the ministers who are tasked with that assignment will meet again, and we'll take it forward. We'll discuss amongst ourselves what other models or what needs to be done to make this a viable proposition.
So you're not giving up on the plans to disinvest Air India?
Well, that decision has to be taken by the cabinet, if at all that was to be taken. We are on the right track. The economy is doing well. I'm told commercial vehicles, there's a 6-month waiting period today. The auto sector, steel, cement, power, mining and coal, all the sectors are showing signs of very rapid growth, and I'm very confident that the economy is on the right track. The nation is moving towards a formalization of the economy in a larger way. I see a very bright future for India in the current year and in the years ahead.
Okay, those are the live visuals coming in from Singapore, where the President Donald Trump is meeting with the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Remember, the one-on-one meeting and the interaction had happened, and now it looks like both the leaders are meeting with the entourage of their respective representatives as well. Remember, this is what the entire world is watching out for, because this is the first time ever that the sitting President of the United States and the North Korean leaders are meeting. Remember, not much is expected out of it. Of course, denuclearization is the key agenda, but not much is expected to happen in terms of any direct, concrete plan being signed for, let's say, denuclearization, and also not much is expected in terms of the impact for the various asset classes. So those were the live visuals actually coming to you from Singapore, where President Donald Trump is meeting with the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Well, on that note, let's do one thing. Let's slip into a quick break, come back, and we'll talk about the April IIP and the May CPI data, which is due later this evening. We get you the key expectations on the other side of this very short break. Well, in a move aimed at enhancing the credit discipline among large borrowers and preventing perpetual rollovers, the Reserve Bank of India today released draft guidelines on loan system for delivery of bank credit. Ritu Singh joins in to explain the significance of this move.
In a move that is aimed to enhance credit discipline among large borrowers and also mitigate risks for banks that have exposures to such large borrowers, the Reserve Bank of India has now come out with draft guidelines on the loan system for delivery of bank credit. It starts by outlining that large borrowers will be defined as those with a credit exposure of 150 crores and above of working capital fund-based loans. What it says is now there will be a minimum level of loan component of 40%, which then becomes an on-balance sheet item for which banks will mandate have to make standard loan provisioning. It says drawings of up to 40% of that total fund-based working capital loan will be allowed, and any excess of that can be allowed to be withdrawn in the form of cash credit. However, the unwithdrawn or the undrawn portion of cash credit or overdraft limits that have been sanctioned to such large borrowers will now attract a credit conversion factor of 20% with effect from April 2019. Now, CCF, or credit conversion factor, essentially converts an off-balance sheet exposure to a credit risk equivalent, thereby securing banks also against such defaulters and ensuring that large borrowers also, do not roll over loans permanently. In fact, Reserve Bank of India goes on to say that this 40% loan component will be increased to 60% by April 2019. The first 40% guideline will kick in from October of this year. Draft guidelines have been put on its website and comments have been invited by the end of June.
Okay, moving on then, former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee was admitted to the Old India Institute of Medical Sciences yesterday after he was diagnosed with an urinary tract infection. BJP in a statement said Vajpayee was admitted for routine checkup and investigations. Congress President Rahul Gandhi visited Vajpayee yesterday. Soon after Gandhi's visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also paid a visit to the ailing politician, as well as BJP President Amit Shah, veteran leader L.K. Advani, Home Minister Rajnath Singh too paid the veteran leader a visit. Sources tell Network 18 that Vajpayee is admitted in the ICU. However, his condition is stable. AIIMS is expected to release a statement on Vajpayee's health very soon. Well, the big political story, opposition parties in India are ready with a game plan to take on BJP in 2019. Network learns that the opposition has identified around 400 seats where it wants to fight the BJP one-on-one. Maria Shakil joins us now. Maria, tell us more about opposition's game plan for 2019 elections.
Well, the opposition's game plan is that they have identified roughly 400 out of 543 Lok Sabha seats in which they want to convert that into a united opposition candidate. So it will be one candidate from the opposition side, the entire opposition side versus the BJP, because the opposition realizes that the only way they can take on brand Narendra Modi and the election winning machine that the BJP has become is by ensuring that they get the arithmetic right. So, for example, in the state of Uttar Pradesh, the strategy, of course, is that SP, BSP, RLD, Congress and all smaller parties will come together and field one candidate that will be taking on the BJP. Let's not forget that this experiment did work in a number of by-polls that have recently happened, be it Kairana or in Phulpur or in Gorakhpur, where the opposition candidate did manage to defeat the BJP but with a significant margin, particularly in Gorakhpur and Phulpur elections, despite of them being bastions of Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and of Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya, and hence the realization clearly was that only way to take on Prime Minister Modi would be to have this joint opposition strategy and a joint opposition candidate in roughly 400 seats. Well, the idea clearly is that one size fit all cannot be applied, so it cannot be any central leader sitting here in New Delhi and drafting it. So the opposition leaders in various states, some of them are regional satraps, have been brought on board, and they are all in talks with the Congress. The Sharad Pawar is one senior leader who has taken the lead. Then is also CPM General Secretary Sitaram Yechuri. We also know that senior Congress leaders, including Ghulam Nabi Azad, are in talks with Akhilesh Yadav, Mayawati, or for that matter Mamata Banerjee. If you would remember, Mamata Banerjee was one leader who had said that it has to be a one-on-one contest in 2019, and that will be the only way this Modi Shah juggernaut can be stopped and the opposition can have a chance at power in 2019.
Well, as the monsoon progresses towards the north of India, there was some respite from heavy rains for the west coast yesterday, and mild showers are expected for the next few days. Here's a report from SkyMet.
Hi, this is Bhumika and you're watching SkyMet Weather Report. Coastal Karnataka and Kerala would continue to witness light to moderate monsoon rains with few heavy spells, all thanks to the offshore trough which is seen running along the west coast. South Konkan and Goa would also rains are likely over Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Jammu Kashmir will only witness dry weather. On the other hand, hot and mainly dry weather will be seen over Haryana, North Rajasthan, West Uttar Pradesh and Delhi, but isolated thundery activity cannot be ruled out. Let us have a look at the temperatures expected today. Delhi would see its maximum temperature at 42 degrees Celsius, Lucknow 41 degrees Celsius and Mumbai 33 degrees Celsius. Thanks for watching SkyMet Weather Report.
Okay, it's time now for a quick break. Up next, April IIP and May CPI data due later this evening. We get you the key expectations on the other side of the short break.